This video is never intended for children because some of the words that I've been shown are just as heavy as possible. Be what works for the little ones and be necessary. It is necessary to say it in this passage because the whole picture is clear to everyone. Then I have a question: Ish entered love with color. Red if he mentions the word love and romance. The color red always comes to people's mind. It's like programmers, just red color does not represent only love and romance. The red color represents blood and violence, how the color red represents. Two extremes represent love, romance and violence. And blood. Yes, our story today is about Valentine's Day. Or Valentine's Day, and here's what you know about Valentine's Day. Valentine, he never had anything to do with love because for this holiday he entered by beating women with sounds of leather. The goats are so brutally beaten and then. Yes, you've heard of me being raped yet, even though. Go on Google now and write Valentine's Day. Show you the shape of a baby, breastfeed humans, breastfeed some human children, ish. The color red in love and romance in. Originally published as if this holiday is about love from Wayne. Valentine's name came up. Our topic today is very important in our days. And specifically on February 15th we are late. But you must know the story of Valentine. Is it true that this holiday is originally only before what? To start this Valentine's Day story, we need to know that all the holidays celebrated by the West, now they are originally pagan rituals or cults. She existed on earth because such is God. The Almighty protected us with a grant and prescribed us 2 feasts. We only celebrate them all the holidays that they practice. Now she is an original innovator. And that's how I got to this time and the traders in this time take advantage of these holidays too. They enlarge their pockets, and most of the merchants who drive the world is now trying to support this idea. Holidays, publish them and decorate them so that they become something beautiful in the eyes of some ignorant, and actually they succeeded in this matter because it was Valentine's Day. And the second highest annual spending ever in a year. 2020, 27 billion was spent on the level of America only, so how do you have the whole world? 27 billion rested in the pockets of merchants from the pockets of the herd. The traders who lead. I hope that you are working hard to spread. This video has been posted everywhere. Let us deliver. Science is for everyone, and that's our job originally. We deliver the knowledge so that the Hajj will be held and Allah Almighty come on the help. In the name of God we begin. In this story we have to go back 6 centuries ago. Birth, specifically, before the establishment of the empire. The Romans at that time had a king called Aemilius. This king was a pagan king, worshipped idols, and this king was ruling his region. Italy is now, of course. When was its name? Italy. Italy. This king was a tyrant like the rest. The pagan kings of that time were the king. They have by inheritance means if a reigning monarch dies, after his son inherits the rule, it means that one day. These days this king raped Fata and was thinking. The king said that the situation would pass unnoticed in the rest. The girls he raped, God willing. The Almighty, and this girl carried a lamb. 2 twins, and I had them, and they were boys and boys. It means that they inherit the rule from their father, the king here. Perth referee shocked by black boy's anger. He said, my children, I never 2 twins, and I had them, and they were boys and boys. It means that they inherit the rule from their father, the king here. Never take anything. The king after me is an adulterous child. Soldiers, take the 2 children. And they drowned her, and one of the king's soldiers got up and took. These 2 children were not babies. What the little ones are talking about, what they're taking. The 2 little boy look into their eyes. This little and innocent, they are looking at this. A soldier can't bear to have mercy on his heart. A look at these young people, says Ray. Throw them in the river, drown, what matters to me. The king wants to, then it is forbidden for him to base anything. It settles in the little ones just because ish settles means it is. Originally published as soldier overpowered, not killed. My 2 children, he's dying means disobedience. The king or he is tortured to death means it's all bad and it's on its way to the river. The 2 children sat thinking about his way thinking-ish. He settles and the little ones look into his eyes with all his innocence and he says to himself, I am a drowning wind. Innocent kids sat in conflict with until he passed a basket that was on the way. And he said to himself, with them in the basket at the very least, that they lived, and if they die, my guilt means less. Something I tried and did very secretly to take this basket. And the parents put the kids in this basket. He threw them into the river and left the 2 children in the river until they disappear completely as soon as he knows. Soldier, this is a basketball shot. This is a universe. The empire of Camille Wally is the empire of Rome. And when I tell you exactly what has become. The 2 kids sat in this basket wrestling the waves of this river and my lord protected them until they arrived for an area called Platten Hill, a hill similar to this basket in this area. A branch of a tree that was on the edge of the river. This was a wild fig tree. And learn trade and sheep herding and they became great merchants in. They learned from their father how he met them in this cave and how it's this that suckled them. The story was fascinating to them and they were relieved. They spin this cave until now for you and this cave. Where they lived and they came to this cave. Always from the end you remember their life and how they grew up. They named this cave and the following is a derivative from the word wolf in the I think language. The Italian took pride in the fact that I breastfed them and they weren't normal people. They started out in the community there and they were big traders. They said, we have to slaughter a sacrifice in this. We need to slaughter this bear that suckled us because she. What is a normal meal at all and what are we slaughtering? For the one who is slaughtered for the one who eats. Sheep are saved by the spirit of answering 2 sheep and slaughtering them. And they took 2 sheep and slaughtered them for these dibba. As a kind of offering. Who thought at the time that she had saved their lives. It saved them from death, so their slaughter was for this. Sheep fall in February and become normal. For this Monday every February they mourn. They are slaughtered for the soul or for that which, as a kind of. The sanctification of their rituals was not just the slaughter. Their rituals are evolving, they're slaughtering the Eucharist. To melt and clot their faces with the blood of this offering. Years passed and the empire was formed. The Roman had its in Italy. And precisely from this and it was at the end of the century. The 6th BC is said to be a state. The brothers are the founders of the Roman Empire. Their story is famous, of course, its famous means too. Raised by Thebes, it became a kind of sanctification. And people came to believe that this was what? The god of Wumu, the god of love and fertility, as his highness at that time and they were worshipping God. Many gods of war, rain and thunder. And God, they had a lot of fetishes meaning. One of these idols is the god of love and fertility. Or God for Brickle means they are purging like this. For her, this story is sure that this god is over. We worship and they celebrate the half of the month of February, kind of worship and sacrifice to these gods. Fertility or love, namely from February 13th. Ellen February 15th, just so their celebration ritual was very horribly they were ritually looking like they were taking a urn. And they put in the jar the names of all the girls of the region A. A girl is in the area writing her name. And they put it in this jar. That was the first step. The second step is to go to the Liberical cave or the cave. Who is slaughtering 2 sheep and his dog in the cave. They came up with a dog in the previous one, just. What the ritual concluded was that the men were undressing. Their clothes are full and they are bathed in the blood of this. Offerings mean their faces, their whole bodies are full. In tears, they were naked as they came out of their bellies. His mothers are nothing and nothing means and they skin. The skins of these offerings and make sounds from their skins. The sound of very loud noises and they go back to the jar. That's where they wrote the names of some women mo. Some of them are all in the village, meaning or in the area, and each one enters his hand and chooses a girl. And this girl started to clot and rape, yes. You heard me, whipped and raped and stripped of clothes, and this as a kind of exaltation or reverence of these gods who. She is the goddess of fertility and love means, means. As a kind of worship they approach these gods. And they sit like this and everyone hits a girl. He rapes her until the ceremony or ritual is over. Surely it's going on in your brain, is its normal income in. Valentine, I'm just telling you, let me finish for you. The important thing is that this day was 2 million. It's so full of blood that the area. Covered in blood, the whole area turns color. Red. Focus on the word red, that means. Benjik after skin mutilation, rape, blood and offerings. All this human view of God is like the bee. And my suckling babe's fetish is important that she passed. Years after Allah Almighty Isaibn. Mary, blessings of Allah be upon her, from the children of Israel and beyond. What Allah Almighty raised Isaibn Maryam. Exactly 3 centuries and in the 3rd century. Specifically, between 268 AD and 270. They were still pagans this year. They practice rituals. God is their true God, the God of love and fertility, only he was in. A second religion that is Christianity is just what it was. It has a power that they have never had in the country. Quite a Roman ruler or king was in. This time his name is Claudius too. I think I said his name is right, Lord, I said his name is right, Mani. Arif Wali was nicknamed the conqueror of the Goths, and this. It gives you an idea that the reign of this king is a period. Her wars had this king as the king of. They meant impossible by this decision because she. Man's time he's getting married means even the soldiers. Those who are single are sitting fighting hard so that they can admire how much. A girl means all of them, but many of them are because she is a mushroom. In human heroism, one of the pastors was. A very senior priest at that time had this name. Priest Valentine. This Valentine was married to. Secretly the soldiers were comforting him. He secretly marries them without the government knowing. I mean, at that time, people loved her. They loved this priest, and this priest became a hero in the eyes of the people, the mouth of no matter how originally settled people tend. But how long has this priest been standing? Because the king knew about this priest and leaked some the information, and they knew where he was, and he was arrested. He was sentenced to death directly, and this was executed. The priest Valentine in February, it is said that on the day of the 14th, exactly the 14th of February, she was executed. In front of everyone, through housing, the reaction of the people. Very different from what the king thought. So this priest who was executed in front of the people became a hero of heroes, and he was even hated by. Before it became popular, people were celebrating. In mid-February, in honor and veneration of this priest. The hero was in mid-February, he was celebrating. The second is quite a pagan celebration of the god of fertility. And love was celebrated by pagans at that time. Completely red, the Christians were here celebrating. With Valentine, and the whole area is full of blood. Red in red, but everyone means flat, Sarah Malam is a word to the pagans because the government is a pagan and the pagans have not revolved on Christians how to celebrate this priest is your right. I mean, only in the year 286 AD she could. Christianity is climbing into power for the first time. So the rulers triumphed in this period and became. Christianity rules the Roman Empire. And here the machine turned over, the game became in the hands of. The Christians here have become the upper hand. On the pagans, and in your gift the period merged. Many holidays in Christianity, including a happy Christmas, if you remember a short story. The celebration of the feast of this most famous priest has become famous among the people all over the empire. Roman Wali was a Christian at that time. The time she chose mid-February as an official holiday. They named it Valentine's Day in celebration. By this priest and by God, love and fertility means. They combined them together and took the color of blood and Lee. He was covering the streets at that time as a symbol of love. And for me, until now, love is symbolized by color. Red does not tempt you, its Valentine's Day is a holiday. A very ancient pagan holiday based on beating and raping women with some contraptions. Christianity is in this time if you are an Arab. And a Muslim found you the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, and Umar ibn al-Khattab, Umar ibn al-Az and Ali ibn Abi Talib. And finally, under this holiday, brother, I stand up. God is never worthy of you. This is a pagan holiday. The creator of the Christians is taken from paganism in. Originally, love it or hate it, these are facts. Historicity and your attitude to this holiday is with you. Be a shine at the end of the herd, follow or be thoroughbred. And you have fixed a religion in which to be proud and what to get carried away with. The torrent, albeit a lot, and after what I knew the story. Valentine, I've made an argument with you. And you must be from. Now abandon ignorance and celebrate nothing without something. Ish knows her origin originally. And it was a supposed Valentine's Day story or something. It's called Valentine. So now here we come to the end of today's clip. God, show us the truth truly and give us his followers and show us the false is void, and O Allah, by your praise I testify that there is no God but you. I ask your forgiveness and I will turn to you and show you. Have a good time and savagely bless you and have mercy on me. God and his blessings.